connected. Battery about 40%.
Everything is staged. During C-19, that was all staged. You all lived through it. You saw it with your own eyes, how easy it is to manipulate the populace. You can make the populace think whatever the fuck they want. Like, I just saw this shit recently where people were like, Donald Trump and the Trump administration is going to lower the jab schedule down to the same as that they do in Denmark or whatever, from 75 down to 11. It's like, yo, what are those 11 though? What are those 11 jabs that they're giving a baby? So he's a good guy because he turns the schedule down to 11 vials of poison? It's like, am I talking to like you guys get where I'm coming from, right? It's a hoax. Everything is fake. Everything is staged. And like, I feel like I'm at that point right now where I have this platform and I know I'm like spraying so much mosquito repellent in the room. Like even my last live stream, so many people got fucking mad at me because I didn't want to talk about crypto or whatever. Or 3 live streams ago where I was just calling crypto gay. Like, because it's all gay to me. Look at Vitalik Buterin. Like, look at all of your so-called heroes. Look at the co-founder of Zcash. It's a literal trans man with a bald spot. Like, yo, why am I offending you? Not you, Gappy TV, but like, why am I offending people here? Why is this stuff offensive? I thought enlightened beings could like take a joke. But maybe that's not the case. I know I'm a little spicy today. Like I'm usually very, very calm, but it's like lately I've just been realizing that something happened to my channel where I had an influx of like new people. And by the way, I'm grateful for your support. I'm grateful for you showing up. I'm grateful for you giving this a chance, you know, because this might be tough for some people. But I'm going to speak honestly right now. Channel got a huge influx of new people, and it's like they don't get what we're doing, even though I haven't changed what I've been doing for 5 years. It's this, like, we're the same. The aura is actually expanding. It's spicier than it's ever been. It's more truth than it's ever been. And I'm having fucking fun. I thought we could all have fun. But I'm seeing that there's a divide around the world with regards to like what we take personally and what we could just allow. And I want to allow. So coming back to the Tartaria thing, like, I guess what distanced me a little bit from talking about that stuff and like I think that's unfair, but like being a part of that study is I started to see that the quote unquote teachers in the space started to treat it like there's like this, I'm quote unquote better than you because I know this shit and like you guys don't energy. And that's the same thing we see with the flat earthers. It's the same thing we see with the vegans. It's the same thing we see with the carnivore people. It's the same thing it's everywhere. Everything turns into this polarizing, divisive, religious-like, political-like bullshit. And it holds us back from our greatness. It holds us back from our true essence that we're able to provide to all of each other, the unique thing that we're here to share. And I want to speak more towards that personally.
Left, right.
Husey, sending lots of love, brother. Hope you're doing amazing.
Left, right. Left.
Can you touch on insecurities, emotional intelligence, and intuition in a relationship? Are you talking about sexual relationship, like one with a partner? if that's specifically what you mean, sure. So what are your insecurities? I suspect if you're a man, because I'm gonna go ahead and make that assumption. I know I shouldn't be, but like you didn't provide me with too much context. So if you're a man and you're feeling insecure, if that like
left,
insecurities
right,
that
left, right,
ask questions, I it's context is super important. Like, are you worried about this partner cheating on you or talking with other people? Like, is there jealousy?
please recharge the
Or are you talking about yourself? Are you somebody that's getting older and maybe you're not as in shape or you're not as, physically like that's where it's hard for me to answer this stuff. Because if I have some specifics, I could be like, sure, let's just go and go deep into this. So I have to assume a lot, unfortunately. I would love to help, you know. That's where the super chats are really helpful because I could see them, I know to answer them, and then if you give me context, I'll riff and I'll pour my heart and soul into that reply. You know that. So to just share a little bit like regarding emotional intelligence, I think a lot of that is derived from the stuff you consume and the culture that you're a part of, and of course things that you've been around as a child, like in your developing stages. But what's very very important for somebody who has insecurities or like you're not sure of how to be more emotionally intelligent is your vision is too centered on your partner and it should actually be more centered on your mission. As- Let me say that in a way that is directed at either polarity. A man should be the pilot, therefore the woman should be the co-pilot. No offense to homosexuals. I'm not trying to be like offensive to you, but I suspect that in your dynamic, if you happen to be gay, then you could just assume what role you're naturally playing because I already have learned that's a thing, right? There's always a more masculine archetype, a more feminine archetype. But coming back to this person, hello world, and us doing our best with the limited data that we're working with, man is the pilot, woman is the co-pilot. So they're equally very, very important. And it's really the man's responsibility to take this plane in the middle of the sky and keep everyone on board feeling safe in the process. Therefore, the co-pilot, the woman wants to feel safety too. And if you show her these insecurities, she's not going to feel safe with you. And it's automatically going to like lower your aura, lower your vibrational frequency, and she'll find you less sexy. She'll find you less attractive because you don't have confidence. The man gets confidence when he locks in with his vision. So you must lock in with your mission, all right? Because when she sees that you're prioritizing the mission and the mission gets you towards your goal because she can notice your momentum, she will find you the most attractive. And then you won't have any insecurities anymore because you're not focused on her when you're focused on your fucking mission. The problem with men is that, and women, no offense, is they're both focused too much on their partner. And there's levels to this, of course, but just to take it like one step at a time, you gotta, as a man especially, have to get focused on your vision. I don't like the word purpose so much, but it's a thing that feels like it's taking you towards the next level. And only you can determine what that next level is. Honestly, that's what the new project we're building is all about. Waters Above University's new platform and the app that we're coming out with. So it's designed to cover this for everybody, not even just this particular situation, but it could be if you're in a working environment and you're trying to level up. If you're in an environment where you're a mother and you're coming across some of these, issues where the man is clearly not prioritizing his mission, his vision, and you as the co-pilot feel like you need to play pilot because he's not playing his role. And I know that's going to make a lot of men go like, oh shit. And that's also going to make a lot of women go like, oh, he's fucking saying something. I like this, because a lot of women are with men right now that are putting too much prana into like bullshit and they're not putting it into their vision. Many people on this earth realm don't even know what their vision is. They don't have any clarity. So that's actually the most important piece to the university is like to unlock clarity for you. I'm actually going to be calling these coaching sessions that we're creating, it's going to be called the Clarity Key. But getting back to you, hello world, intuition is the ego. And I talk about this a lot. So if we play back, just recapitulate, a man is the pilot and the co-pilot is your ego. It's your identity self, but it's also quite spiritual in many ways. It has its own consciousness. It's very special, actually. And most of humanity has what I consider to be a damaged ego. And men with a damaged ego will be this archetype. The one that it's not necessarily calling the man feminine or saying he's not quote unquote manly enough. That's not how I feel. Because there's a lot of very masculine men, but they just don't understand these principles. They don't understand this value system. Their value system is all fucked up. It's corrupted. It's corrupted by culture. It's corrupted by social media. It's corrupted by the way that everybody's worshiping influencers. You feel me? So to recapitulate, you are the pilot. All of you, technically. Your ego is your co-pilot. When you have a strong ego, you can access this thing called intuition. If you have a weak or damaged ego, you will never be able to access the thing called intuition. And this is why in Eastern spiritualism, they've hypnotized and brainwashed everybody to do this thing called an ego death. You do not want an ego death. Your ego is your co-pilot, and it's very awesome to have one. So anyone that says that being lonely is better, you're just kind of lying to yourself because the species that we are is communal. Although, if you're somebody who feels like you can't be alone, then that means you need to learn how to be alone. It's a skill. And isn't it nice to know the skill of swimming when you're in the water? All of these things that get corrected, that you put in effort to adjust and refine, will make you more attractive to the opposite partner. Because what they see is this man knows how to swim. This man knows how to fly the plane. This man knows you. Of course, I'm speaking in allegory right now, but you're all smart enough cookies to understand what the hell I'm talking about. Man must become self-reliant, but I'm also I do believe women should become self-reliant too, because there's plenty of women that are in toxic relationships where unfortunately they can't leave because they're being supported financially by the man. So that's not good either. So we must all heal our egos. I'm speaking to all of us. We must all work towards healing our egos so that we could re-access our intuition. And there we will have the thing called clarity that we've been seeking. And then we will be able to operate in our appropriate polarity. And then our vision gets clearer. And now we could take focused actions in the now moment. Therefore, we don't have enough energy to be this thing called insecure or depressed, because that's not our focus anymore. But when you make your focus this other person, then of course you're going to be wondering, who are they texting right now? Where are they at when they're not at work? What are they doing? Are they really doing that? Are they really, you're always like stuck because you're putting your energy towards the wrong shit. And then once you show that, once you display that, well, like, you've shown them your cards. So in my opinion, like, I would rather somebody commit to healing their ego now, to re-access that intuition, that divine portal of truth. I would rather them do that and show a poker face simultaneously, because at least they committed to something that will lead to a better result for them. I'm not saying be fake, but there's a lot of men and women out there that just have zero emotional control. The tiniest little thing flips a switch and then they start acting wild. And there's nothing wrong with being emotional, guys. There's nothing wrong with emoting, but just be very clear that emotions and feelings are not the same. They are like cousins to each other. But what happens right now, what's happening in our world right now, is everyone's emotional, but feeling nothing. They are numb, emotional skeletons. That's all. Somebody asks me, what's a human? I say a human is a skeleton with emotions. It's rough. It's like, oh, that sounds defeatist, existentialist. It sounds horrible. But it's like, look at them. Just look around you. That's what humans are. Is that wrong to say? Here's the thing. If you associate as a human, then that's what you will be. And that's the little trick right there. You need to realize what you are, family. Everyone who's listening to this right now, you're not a human. You're not even your name. You're not your gender. You're not your body weight. You're not your social media account follower number. You're none of that. You're a fucking light being. You're consciousness. You're borrowing a body right now. Just like you have a car that you own, but that car can get towed away. That car could get smashed in an accident. It's not yours. You own nothing. I don't own this microphone. I don't own this computer. Like, it's temporary. This is why I made a joke a couple of years ago when the World Economic Forum, they came out and they said, you'll own nothing and be happy. And I actually made a joke where I was like, that's actually called being enlightened. Like, if that doesn't make you guys emotional, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, real emotion, like to feel something. Owning nothing and then having bliss is called being enlightened. You hear it and you put it through your filtration system, and you only take this evil worldview of these like technocratic pieces of shit. Of course you do, because look at the entity that is telling you it. And that's another thing you all need to work on too. If you're getting offended when you hear things like that, then let's work on our filter together, guys. Because the way that my filter worked when I heard that was I chuckled and I said, that sounds like being enlightened. Because the more shit you have, the more stuff you have, the more material you are, the less fucking satisfied you are. It's never enough. So what will make you feel better if an institution came out and said, you'll own everything and you'll also be happy? Like, what does that mean? Well, does that not offend you? Or actually, you know what you guys do when you hear somebody say that? If the World Economic Forum came out tomorrow and said, April Fools, you'll own everything and be happy and be blissful. You will look at that and you will be skeptical. You will go, oh, well, they're just lying to us. They're going to come out with some UBI social credit thing. Like they're lying. Like, so which one is it? Why do you get offended at one, but then you take the other one with acting and you're skeptical? Why do you do that? Because your filters are fucked up. So let's go back to the relationship question. If you were somebody who had a bad relationship and then your filter is now based on that experience, you will go into every new relationship with that filtration system. You see what I just did there? I am telling you that you get to be in control of that filtration system, not your experiences. So you are either rowing the boat or you are sailing the boat. How do you want to spend your efforts? This is probably one of the most important things I've ever spoken about, honestly. Because we're doing a lot of things here. We're talking about like how you intake reality. How do you observe? How do you witness? How do you experience? You got to work on your filters. How are you filtrating this information that goes into you? And effectively, the divine filter is the pineal gland. It's not actually, by the way, but that's what spiritualism tells us. That's what Eastern spiritualism tries to say. I don't necessarily believe that, but that's how they handle their truth. And that might resonate with some of you. We've gone like 20 layers deep. We're trying to systematize and make sense and try to be simple along the way. Martin C asks, how can I track my crypto for tax purposes? Usually there's tax software that you could utilize. Crypto tracker, there's plenty. You said I sold most of my crypto at a loss to tax harvest. Yeah, but Martin, I'm not sure if you're able to do that with all of your crypto. As a regular person, especially in the United States, I'm not sure where you live, but in most countries that have this concept of tax loss harvesting, it's limited to a certain amount. And I hope you're aware of that. If you are a corporation, like a C Corp, for example, and you opened up your crypto exchanges with that C Corp, so that means with the EIN that's attached onto your LLC or whatever else that you have as the, above it. Therefore, the crypto that is being purchased or invested in on that account will have a different minimum of how much you can take at a loss. But for regular people, it's not a lot. It's not much. For example, I have a C Corp and then I operate it I do all my crypto through, I invest in all of my crypto through a business account, not personal. So I separate them to the point where like I own no crypto, technically. And it's only the business. That's the way I structured it. And I can now take a loss of an infinite amount of money effectively. But I did this like a couple of years ago, or I don't remember the last time. I've done this twice actually, and I was very open about it. And people were like, like some people were like, "You sold too early," or like, "You sold like it was like a stupid thing." And I was like, "It's not what me and my accountant are talking about." Like, so again, it's a strategy that you need to implement according to but you need to ensure that the strategy is being done right. So Martin, I just don't know like how your business is set up, but as a regular person with a regular personal crypto exchange account, it's a very small amount that you could take advantage of with this. And then there's no carry forward either. So C Corp, it's like a 5-year carry forward. It's pretty advantageous. Living More, sending you lots of love, brother. Appreciate you. I'll be getting to the super chats. Give me just a second. Oh shit, Martin, bro. I'm not trying to take anybody away from anything. I mean, it means the world to me that you want to hang out here, want to talk about these things that we're talking about. It really does mean a lot, truly. Nate says, "How do you mend a broken heart?" Shit, bro. What you going through? Nate, what you going through, homie? How do you mend a broken heart? I mean, you know what? Like, my truth here is that you need to honor this person for being in your life because they're a part of you, man. Like, they're an extension of this thing called a lifetime, And sometimes it's very easy to get bitter if you're in these moments where like there's a breakup or you lose somebody, but you need to realize like you didn't lose anything. You don't lose in this matrix, guys. Let's set the record straight. Like, there is no losing here. There's also no winning. Like, you think Michael Jordan's going to be buried in his grave and he's going to take his rings with him? No. First of all, Michael Jordan has this lifetime to be the way that he is because he settled the score on something with his last version of this thing called life. And homie needed to take a lot of loss in order to get to be that guy, to be that archetype, you know? So the point that I'm making here is like there is no losing here in the matrix. There's also no winning. It's life. And be grateful for the people who showed up in your life, even if they left your life abruptly, even if they're completely quote unquote gone, they're not. This is a dream that we're in. They made you who you are. Allow everybody to make you a better version of yourself. And a lot of the time, the reason people leave your life is because they needed to. There's something else around the corner that is more in alignment with the version of you that we're dealing with right now. Your heart never breaks. You have a belief system that it could be broken. Therefore, it makes that a possibility. So just think about the filters that we were talking about today. You could either allow all of your experiences, all the people you rub shoulders with, all the relationships you have, you could either allow them to clean the filter or the opposite. But that's your choice. It's how you react or how you respond to it. And it's perhaps more at an advantage to you to respond instead of react. Joe Potter, what is minimum wage right now? What's minimum wage in the US? Keep it real 26. I believe the money talk that we gave was very spicy. This is a little confusing. This person said that they thought they were listening to the Bearable Bull. Do we sound the same? This is an interesting tangent we're getting here from Brilliance. They said if it's not backed by silver or gold, it's not sound money facts. Then they said you can trust real silver in your hands. Then they said if you don't own it, you're a slave by law. What? I think they have a Ferrari logo as their picture. Can you go to the Ferrari dealership with a sack full of silver coins and tell me how that goes? How's that going to go? Imagine you pull up in the how much is a Ferrari, guys? Can you tell me? Is it like 300? Is it 200,000? Let's say $250,000. What's the current price of silver? Like 70, 79 or something? You're going to walk in with 3,164 ounces of silver in a sack like a fucking leprechaun, and you're going to be like, take it. I want this. I don't even know if I don't know much about Ferrari. So does that mean the cash you use or the credit line that you open to get the Ferrari, that's slave money or something? I don't get this whole like buy like dual. I don't know how to call it. Like I don't get why we're so extreme here with that. People say I'm extreme. But then I hear people say like God is or gold is God's money. You know, that's like the craziest shit ever. Gold is God's money. You guys think God has money? You think God is showing up with a sack full of silver coins being like, give me a Ferrari? I just want to know, do you think God has money? By the way, I have no problem with Brilliance. I'm glad that they showed up here. I'm glad they're speaking their truth. They said America is a republic and its money is a $1 silver round. I mean, yeah, but like go to the grocery store with your silver coins and see how that goes. I'm just not sure like what this type of thing does. And what does that mean? Old silver make millions. Let's. How much silver would you need to have a million? So if you invested $250,000 in silver at does anyone have $250,000 to invest, by the way? Like I'm just one. I mean, maybe some of you do. Let's divide that by 25. That'd be like a good entry. You're almost there. I mean, if you bought like 300, if you bought like $350,000 of silver, you're almost there. So that's cool. But you haven't made millions. You would need to like bump up the numbers, like that scene in Wolf of Wall Street, like those fucking rookie numbers. Anyways, I like Brilliance. I have no problem with this person at all. Hope you're all doing amazing. We got about 400 people here. Were you guys enjoying the relationship talk? Task Keys asks, what's my favorite animal? Lemurs. I went to this one place in Hamburg, Germany, and it was like supposed to be an aquarium, which I don't know why the fuck I even went because I don't really give a shit about that stuff. But it was one of those like rainy days, and I was like, whatever. So this is a long fucking time ago too. But I don't remember the name of the place. It was in Hamburg, Germany. That's the best I could tell you. And they had like an entire fucking room with a bunch of lemurs in it, right? And I got in there and I just sat down and like 20 of those things just started jumping on me. And I was like, what the fuck is this place? It was the coolest experience of my life. I loved it. So, yeah, Waters Above Lemur Rescue coming to a city near you. I haven't done too much decoding of the Bible, but I loved the time that I took to decode it, like because I could see the language they speak in it. It's fascinating. I have a question. Do most people associate holding silver with being a Christian? I'm not trying to be offensive. So if you think I'm trying to be controversial, stop it. I'm not. I'm just wondering because I see like the. Anyways, I'm just wondering because people say that gold is God's money, right? And then like silver has this kind of OG vibe, like old head vibe. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. I have no problem. I'm just asking. I'm just asking because like this story is really interesting. They sold homie for 30 pieces of silver. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? This fucking jealous ass Judas was like, Judas looks like a Khazar, doesn't he? This motherfucker. Here's a story, guys. 30 pieces of silver was the price for which Judas Iscariot betrayed Jesus, according to an account in the Gospel of Matthew. Before the Last Supper, Judas is said to have gone to the chief priests and agreed to hand over Jesus in exchange for 30 silver coins. That's a better deal than the Ferrari. I mean, shit. Like, you want to buy a Ferrari with silver right now at all-time highs? That's 3,000 pieces of silver. These were different times. 30 pieces. Shit. They were like, sure. Was there any haggle? Was there any like, he's like 29 and a half. Was there any haggle going on in this deal? I'm sorry, I'm making a joke. It's just like I need to. We need to laugh, okay? And you guys don't realize that I'm actually a comedian cosplaying as a TA esoteric influencer or whatever you think I am. All right, let's get back to this. Let me reread the sentence in full, okay? Before the Last Supper, Judas is said to have gone to the chief priests. Who are these fucking guys? Who are the chief priests? Just say rabbis, okay? Stop it with this whole like. Okay, sorry. and agreed to hand over Jesus in exchange for 30 silver coins and to have attempted to return the money afterwards filled with remorse. Was he? Was he filled with remorse? Then it says the Gospel of Matthew claims that the subsequent purchase of the potter's field was fulfillment by Jesus. This is boring. Okay. The image has often been used in artwork depicting the passion of the Christ. The phrase is used in literature and common speech to refer to people selling out or compromising trust. Yeah, boring. Look at this, a Turanian shekel with an eagle on. Or that is that an eagle? That would be an eagle, wouldn't it? Yeah. God damn, bro. 30 pieces of silver and I'm out here. I need 3,000 to buy a Ferrari. Like, that's crazy. What do you guys think Jesus is really worth? Like, if you had to put a number on it. Is this blasphemous to talk about? Is this blasphemous? Can you guys tell me? Yeah, True Challenge Proof says 30 pieces of silver would be $2,000, bro. Shit. $2,000? Our boy Jesus is only worth $2,000 at all-time highs. That's fucked up. Yeah, the J in Jordan stands for the joke. I'm not the Joker, though. I got my shit together, Donna. I got my shit together, Donna. That sounds like a movie script. It reminds me of the end of that one Smino song, Wyoming. It's like one of my favorite songs. At the very end of it, he's like, "You gotta season your food, Donna." Oh, look at this. A slave would work their whole life to earn 1 ounce of silver during Roman times. So where the fuck did Judas get 30 from? Where did he get 30 fucking ounces of 30 pieces of silver back then? What was he doing? Was he a slave master? Like, what gave Judas his wealth? Do you think anyone pulled up on Jesus afterwards and they were like, but if you have 40 pieces, we might be able to negotiate you getting out of this? Like one of his lawyers? I mean, his name is Judas. Okay, we have to pivot. This is fucked up. Ooh, Adam John, this is good. He said, "How do I become the fool again? My life has become too serious." I love this. This is very good to talk about. 1 second. We also call the fool the retard, which I know you're like not allowed to say, but I don't fucking care. So let's open this image up. I mean, minus the weird fucking leggings or whatever this guy's wearing, like this is the GOAT. This is what you want to be. But these Robin Hood boots and the weird, like the leggings and this whole getup, this is a little weird, you know? But yeah, this is the end game, you know? You want to be the Joker. You want to be the fool. Because you start to realize that life is not a game. Life is play. Shall we say it again? You guys listening? You got the wax out of your ears? De-wax your ear holes? This is the man who figures out that life is not a game, it is play. I don't think we got to say more. And we can. So that's all you got to do. Who asked me this question? Let me find you. Adam John. When you feel like life is a game, it is your it's your chance, it's your opportunity, you have the responsibility now to treat it like it's play. Because if you engage in game, then there's winners and losers. And then you have to be the champion for the moment, or you have to be in misery because you didn't get to be the guy. So the fool, or what I like to call him, the retard, which is not the idiot, by the way. The idiot and the retard are not an idiot takes life too seriously. An idiot likes games. An idiot likes playing games. An idiot likes winning and losing. Sports is for idiots. Now they're fun to play, for sure. Like, I get it. But we literally have turned these sportsmen into gods. Ain't that some shit? Why is it that Judas was able to get away with selling out Jesus for 30 pieces of silver? But today, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's making 30 pieces of silver every millisecond. Just for existing, just for making like a weird selfie picture flexing on Instagram. Anyways, this is the goal of man. It's to become the fool. Real women are not actually attracted to men who are obsessed with games, because games are for women. Women play games. This is why, like, have you guys heard, guys, every woman that's here with me, please slow down. You're feeling judged. You're feeling like, wait, what is he saying? What is he saying to me? So women, if you're getting a little, trust me right now, trust me. We're just getting started. If you took two scenarios where you have an island, a deserted island, and you loaded one up with only men, and then you took the other one and you loaded up with only women, okay? What would happen here is initially the women would all be incredibly agreeable with each other at the start, and then they would start to sabotage the whole operation. Literally. Men, on the other hand, would start off this incredibly disagreeable, like they would all be pumping chests and acting like who's the toughest guy and that you're a pussy, and like that's that energy, but it would last one day. And then these fuckers the next day will start building shit. They'll start like making rafts, fucking houses start coming together, like all sorts of crazy ingenuity will kick in. And then what happens is the hierarchy of either intelligence or skills or whatever would start to just settle itself accordingly. The men will work together. The women will pretend to work together initially, and then they will start to destroy the mission. And they will all die hungry, crying. Nothing like will turn out. And that's unfortunate. I'm not trying to say that that's how I want it to go. That's literally, when they've done these experiments before, that's how it goes. And they've simulated this so many times, not like literally all the way down to like this particular level, but I'm sure even on like a Fear Factor and shit, they've done these things. The point that I'm making is, when a woman and a man are together, The reason why the dynamic gets strange is because she as a woman naturally is into games. And when you stoop to her level and you play a game with her, she has you by the balls. Women play games. When men play games, they're acting like women. So, what a man needs to do is be playful, but never give in to her game. You, you guys learning with me today? We're all learning together? Yes? Can I get a yes? A no? Okay. Men playing games together solely is gay. When men get together and play games, it's called being gay. When women get together and play games, it's called being women. You guys learning with me today? We're all learning? We're having a good time? My man's laughing over here. All right, we're doing good. Keep It Real said women play mind games. No, they just play games. That's it. They're just they're gamers. All right? And we love it. We love it. Stop giving into her game though. Because trust me, the real women out there, they know they're into games. They know it. They know. That's why the real women that are here with me right now are laughing. They're having a good time. It's when the man starts giving into the game is when he starts looking like a boy, like a girl. Literally, like he looks like a woman now. And I'm trying to train people to see that this is what we do. And this is why there's nothing more gay than getting sweaty and lubed up and tackling men all day for a couple points on the scoreboard. But it's perceived as something like glorious and amazing because they're championed because they won. But then what happens when they lose? You see? It destroys people because competition is for losers. Real dominance is the man that can be the fool. That's the real dominance. Because when the woman sees that this man has a bigger vision than smacking a fucking soccer ball across the grass all day, she will become a better woman. Because she's led by that energy. The only thing a woman can get out of a man being into sports or being into this competition shit is his money. And it takes a very, very like high level man to be able to have that career in that world and then step away from it and actually see that like, oh, I've been a boy my whole life. It's kind of fucked up for me to say because there's people in my inner circle that are even professional athletes. Like I've had clients, I'm not going to say their names out of respect for them, and I love them. They're fucking amazing people. And they've found my channel and they've woken up to a lot of this. And they can be man enough to not take it personally. I have no problem with people playing sports, by the way. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm trying to poke a little fun. We're having a good time. My whole thing that I'm saying here is it's not making you a man to compete and play games. It's just something that you're into. You like to do it. It's fun. So before when I said playing sports is gay, that was just me having fun. It's fun. Laugh. It's just jokes, folks. But I'm getting to a grand point here of when you adopt competition as the most important fucking thing of your life, you'll never get the freedom of not having to compete all the time. A lot of people can't disassociate from the game. They're stuck in it. They're in an infinite game. Did you watch the Matrix movie? See, the Matrix movie would have ended real early if Neo just like realized that like they're all, I've never said this before. How do I say this? This is like shit that you have to like really work for in life. So there's 370 people. You're getting something special right now. Um, Guys, the Matrix movie, it would have ended much earlier. It wouldn't have been a movie. It wouldn't have been a movie if Neo realized that when everybody tried suckering him into saving Zion, and he would have walked away from it because he knew that was a trap. That movie is fucked up because no one questions that one thing. Everyone's like, oh, he took the red pill and now he's awake and now he's no longer in the quote unquote simulated, like he's in a real world now. But what about the part where they're brainwashing him into thinking that he's saving Zion? And then they called it Zion. Is anyone going to address that? The whole Matrix movie is that the New World Order trying to get everybody who woke up to stay competing. It's all this kung fu shit. Kung fu, fighting the whole time. And then the big takeaway is at the end of the last one when he looks at Agent Smith in the face and he realizes, I don't need to fight you anymore. The moment that Neo stops fucking competing, Agent Smith explodes. So anyone who's getting offended about what I'm saying right now, simmer down, Tex. I'm helping you. You are not here to compete. You are here to know thyself. And when you know thyself, there's nothing to fucking compete against because you are one with all. You are everything. It is not without you. You are within. Everything is here for you. It's the most motivating shit I could possibly fucking tell you. So you can treat life like a game. Go for it. See where that gets you. This is why children have purity, because children are not in a game, children are in play. Crypto Warbird said that was a fucking movie, dude. No, it wasn't. It was a documentary of man coming to the awareness that we're not in this thing called reality as we've been told. It's a good question. Senza Alchemy says, what was Zion really? The Matrix? Zion. Turn Zion around and you'll get the word noise. You either have noise or you have music. Which are you here to create? I would rather bet on sports. Willie Williams says children don't have bills to pay. So you're saying that the reason that you're selecting to be in a game is because you have bills? I've studied rich people that have far more than I have monetarily for at least going on 15 years now. Very, very focused research. And none of them look at money this way. So based on logic, I could just make the assumption that children in Europe, in your beliefs, have joy and get to play because they don't have bills. Wow. I don't really think that's it. Yeah, you said I have a mortgage to pay. What does that have anything to do with anything? I hope you guys are doing amazing. We're having fun. I think it's Johan. Are you serious? That's hilarious. I don't know what's going on in our chat. It seems like everybody's arguing about silver for some weird reason. This is interesting too. You said surrender is not quitting. I don't mean surrender as in giving up. I mean surrender is in allow the universe to become you and vice versa. Yeah, that's a really beautiful philosophy, and it's an interesting word, right? Sense alchemy, like we deal with these words, and I always try my best to like really dive deep into what am I saying, you know? Um, that's what we just did before with the question about what is Zion, because effectively the English language, angelish, this language of word spells, it actually reveals almost all the truth about the. So we could always practice the same thing with the word surrender, you know, or to quit. But resilience is everything, right? Like I would say instead of and again, sense alchemy, I'm not trying to change how you feel or how you speak. That's never my goal here with you or anybody else. But instead of me saying that I'm surrendering, what I rather say is that I'm resilient. Like there's nothing to surrender or nothing to quit from. It's just life. Like be the fool because the fool is able to just go about everything and let it teach it. You become a student of it all. You're just now the committed observer. You're the committed witness. Like you are just taking in this thing called life, and now it gets to teach you for once. And so many people they think it's woo woo when you say that like the wind can teach you, the rain can teach you, the trees can teach you. Like people think this is crazy. They think only man can teach man. Then the mind of man is the only thing. And people need to realize that there's consciousness within all things. This is the idea behind atom, the archetype of atom, or atumra, right? So we get gnosis from all, and I argue the people that say, well, the sun gives this information. Why just the sun? There's a butterfly that lands on you that is giving you, it's gifting you, and you just don't realize it. We walk around believing that we hold some sort of like key to knowledge because it's found in a book. But isn't it interesting how the place that keeps the books is called the library? I'm not saying all books are filled with lies, but just, again, where are we at with our word spells? Now, to go deeper, the real reason for the nomenclature of library is Libra and Aries. They're on the two opposite pillars of the Masonic arch. And what holds it all together is the capstone is Cancer. Anyways. I'm sure we offended a lot of people here today with the sports talk. That wasn't my point. I want people to just question the way that we're being. Crypto Warbird said Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing is good for men. It's all good for you, sure. But it's when you are bringing that competition and that game into all the other aspects of your life, that's typically where the thing we call failure is. So many people think that what they locked in on is somehow a universal truth for everybody. We see this all the time. So what we've been getting out of this whole red pill dating shit, all the red pill stuff that we got from 2020 till now, and I think it's kind of slowly dissolving, but it's all this stuff of like men need to become fighters and men need to become this and that's like, okay, guys, let's take a trip down like consciousness lane. Do we all agree that war is probably pretty fucked up? Like we could all agree on that, right? Okay. People feel pride with war. People really feel like, I should become a warrior because I'm going to save my country. I'm going to save this, or I'm going to save that, or this, that, and the third. Like, I'll be able to conquer this other place and like we could have more or whatever, But it's been kind of shared that this idea that we should all become warriors, right? First of all, then we're all just operating in these lower chakras. That's number one of the issues I have with that. Your central nervous system is completely fried. You're always on alert. You're always in fight or flight. You're always nervous. You're always like looking over a shoulder. You can't trust anything when you're a warrior, by the way. Just letting you know. So you're basically operating in trauma at all times. That's your state. Your current state is called trauma. And I think about, well, what with if I had teachings to give, wouldn't a more honorable teaching be, how about we opt out of the battle? How about that? What if every man in the military said, I'm not going to go kill my brothers and sisters so that we could keep this plot of land that these fucking jackals call ours when it's really not even ours in the first place? This isn't going to resonate with a lot of people. I get it, because right now, since Trump has entered office, the rise in patriotism has been tenfold, and everyone feels this pride, and they own it, and they think it somehow brings you virtue. Like it somehow makes you a better version of yourself. Even though if you simultaneously believe in God, whatever that is, especially the Christian version of a God, you're conflicted already at the start with this belief system. It's like I remember one time I was driving and I saw written on a church, you know how they sometimes like write these state in the Bible verses. It was written on a church, God bless our troops. And I was like, wait up, did we not review the 10 commandments before this person put this up on the sign? Because I'm sure one of them says, thou shalt not kill. Like, you think Jesus is like, I want my boys to go strap up their boots and put on the camo and get the AK-40 and like go out and fucking blast people's heads off? You think that's what your Lord and Savior wants out of you? Can I get an answer? Or is that what we agree on? So my whole thing that I talked about before with sports and like with competition and the idea of game versus play, it's to get you out of fight or flight. It's to not have you operating in that state of trauma, that state of nervousness at all times, where everything is if you're somebody who's competitive, when you're driving your car, you become competitive. This is going to make you get into accidents or like the likelihood of accidents occurring. And most of the time, the reason accidents happen is because everybody's fucking competing. We're all in an infinite fucking game. No matter what we do, where we go, you stand on line somewhere and you start to protect it. You're like, this is my spot. Don't tell me you don't do this. Humans are operating as if it's a game. We are in a simulation. And I'm not even speaking woo-woo or hippy-dippy here. Just take the examples I just told you. You're all nervous. You're all worried. You all think somebody's out to attack you, hurt you, take your spot in line, whatever. You become territorial. And then you just magnify this more and more and more and more and more. And you have people living in, Italy who the one rival team from the other city comes over and you're like about to start fights with them and shit because they're from a different city. But you're both Italian, so you're...
Left. Right. Bluetooth connected. Battery about 40%.
This is what the New World Order wants out of us. They want us to not associate anymore with God or with something divine. They want you to associate with something egoically tethered to a game. They want you in a game every minute of your fucking existence. Is that what you guys, is that what we all want? So, taxes are slavery. I hate taxes. Why doesn't everybody just stop fucking paying them then? Who do you think wins? See, Zion, what it does is it just comes up with loopholes. So you feel like you're smarter by doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I could really break this down into so many other areas of life, but I don't even want to spend too much time on this. I think many of you get my point. Guys, we are opting in by treating everything like a game. And I think there's something more powerful to do. And it's not to compete to become a winner, because there is no winners here. Because again, you only feel good when you win. Then you lose and you feel insert negative emotion. Become the fool. There's no winning and losing for the fool. There's just life. The inner child now gets to be one with your ego for a fucking moment. Instead of this consistent fight or flight, looking around like a fucking raccoon. That's what everyone's becoming. They're like a raccoon rummaging through garbage, like nervous. Like, the head is on a swivel, just unsure of what's... And then you get on the internet and you don't even need to swivel your head anymore. You could just lock it into this goddamn device. That's why the New World Order is so amazing. Is they're like, let's just reduce the caloric burn to brainwash them, and then semi-enlightened people think that knowing the shape of the Earth is somehow not a distraction, or being on the right side of the political spectrum is not. You know what I'm saying? Like there's this self-importance of being like, the Earth is flat. I'm a carnivore. I believe in Jesus, and Donald Trump is going to save us with the white hats, and all of our debts will be forgiven. And that's what a lot of people like literally think enlightened is today. And what I believe enlightened is opting out. It's be the fool. The fool ain't voting. The fool ain't worried about what Jeffrey Epstein did on the flights. The fool isn't concerning himself with who won the Super Bowl. The fool is just being a god. The fool is being Jesus. You think Jesus was like, I wonder what the score was in Galilee at the shock pudding meeting? Like, you think Jesus gave a shit about that? You think Jesus was like, I wonder who's the world champion right now in football? So this is, I made a me, like I called so many people out on this a couple days ago. I said very, very simply, everybody wants to say that they like worship their Lord Jesus, and that like Jesus is this, that, and the third. But nobody wants to be like the guy. Nobody wants to be Christ-like. The fool is the Christ card. That's all it is. All right, we're gonna pivot for a second. Got a question from Joseph. He says, "What's up, Waters? What's your opinion on eating 4 or 5 times a day versus 1 time a day?" 1 time a day is more optimal. The less you eat, and the less your eating window is, the better for your digestion. Of course, it would have to be, well, like, what are you eating in that 1 time a day? Because if you were to eat 4 or 5 times a day and it's very light food, versus somebody who eats 1 meal a day, but it's like 4 Big Macs and a large fry and a Coke and a smoothie, like that would be me saying, well, what are we consuming? You know? So like, I'm not just going to give a blanket, like, yes, one is better than the other, because it's really about what you're consuming. If you're eating 4 or 5 times a day, but it's very clean food, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you're one of these people where doing OMAD, like 1 meal a day, means you're just going to stuff your face with an abundance of high palatable, highly calorically dense food, then I would say don't do that, because that's also fucked up for not only your digestion, but your gut microbiome. So yeah, Joseph, I'm not a big proponent for saying that, like, I believe 16-hour intermittent fasting is somehow more optimal versus not doing an intermittent fast. Like, really the big benefits you're getting with these things are what I would consider a pattern break. Okay. So what I would think would be maybe even more optimal to do is do 1 meal a day for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and then switch it up to like doing a 16, or maybe go the more extreme route, go to the eating 4 times a day, and then switch that up to doing like a 16-hour intermittent fast. It's actually called time restricted feeding, if you want to look at it the right way. But, and then I would also mix into there an extended fast, like an actual 24 to 48 hour window of not eating at all. But this like blanket truth that 1 meal a day is somehow better, I don't agree with that. You're a human, and especially if you're like over the age of even 20, you're already quite adapted to your first 20 years of life. So the gut microbiome that you're dealing with, and any parasites that you might have or anything that's going on with your lymphatic system, it's pretty set for both genders by the age of 20. So if you're somebody who's like 50, 60, or 30, 40, you really just need to look at all these little changes as pattern breaks. That's all they actually are, unless we're doing like dialed in cleanses, you know? But if you're talking about like an everyday protocol, I'm not a firm, I don't believe that doing 4 or 5 meals a day versus 1 meal a day for the whole year is somehow going to be more beneficial. What I do believe though is like maybe after a couple months, your body will do what it always does, which is it reaches equilibrium. And therefore, the only thing that will help is a pattern break. One of my ways that I show people this in real life, like in a way that people understand me and get where I'm coming from, is with weightlifting or with training, for example. If you were to lift a 150 pounds bench press and you just kept doing that for 8 reps for a full year, you would make no fucking progress. So, what would be wiser to do? Well, implement progressive overload. So, you'd want to either add more weight to the bar, add more time under tension, which is my preferred because that's what matters the most, or doing more reps or having higher quality reps, even could be a big benefit for you to get result, like for you to break the plateaus, for example. Eating is the same way, guys. And I've seen people that eat quote unquote healthy for 4 or 5 times a day, but then they never do an extended fast and they over supplement, which a lot of people do. Most people consume way too many supplements, which is a thing we could talk about another time. And then their body, their organs never get a break. You know what I'm saying? Especially for those people that eat high protein. So you need to look at the body like it deserves an oil change once in a while. It deserves a pattern break. And the pattern break for the people eating 4 or 5 times a day would naturally be eat for a 2 or 4 hour window of the day. Get like one bigger meal in. And then that way you have like a 20-hour window to fully digest the food. Boost some human growth hormone for men that could be beneficial. You know, there's a couple of other benefits, but anyways, anybody who knows me, they know that I've actually have more time studying health and wellness than I do with investing. So I could provide as much, I could literally talk about that for hours. By the way, with our university, the one that's going to be launching on our new platform that we built and also on our new mobile app, there's going to be a dedicated masterclass that we're going to be doing for health and wellness to kind of kickstart everything, because a lot of people are doing these New Year's resolutions, and et cetera, et cetera. But I have something very, very unique to share with everybody who's joining our university. So in about 2 weeks, I'll be sharing, or maybe less than 2 weeks, maybe a week, I'm not sure. I'll be sharing some more information about that for those people that are interested in joining our university when it kicks off again. I'm super excited. This is like a new chapter of my life, and we're going to be talking about everything that we cover here in these lives, putting a lot more emphasis on mindset and lifestyle and transmuting those things. Also putting less attention specifically on business and creating business and more on helping conscious investors. So those of you that are already investing, but you're looking to refine other aspects of your life, we will talk a little bit about investing too along the way, naturally, just because it's an aspect of being in this world, of course. But the emphasis here is helping conscious investors, parents, coaches, and business owners. So we've taken all the things that I've done from my first time doing this, which was our expansion group coaching. Shout out to any of those of you that are here. If Monica's here, or Clementine, or Facile. Yeah, that was amazing. We did that with a very small group. Eli, Janet, we did that with a small group. And then this year, 2025, we brought on cohorts. We did 3 separate cohorts, but I closed it down in July. So now it's been over a half a year since we've had anybody joining, and we've been using that time to build our own platform. So it will have a full social media. Actually, let me show you real quick, just because I'm talking about it. So yeah, we're going to be launching this new project very, very soon. We've been working on it pretty much intensely for the past 4 months, but the ideas have been in our head for the half a year that we've been kind of closed down. accepting new members, and this is going to have three completely separate parts. Each is going to be isolated and dedicated to its focus. So what I mean by that is we have a social networking space that we've created. Here you can get a little snippet, little sneak peek, little teaser of what it will look like. It's going to be custom made by us. So there's of course elements that you might see from other platforms here and there, but this was our way of saying, like, what are the things that we love that are out there? What are the things that we don't love that's going on? And how do we create something that's better? Something that's really for the type of audience that we have here, the type of community of conscious beings that we're surrounded by. So it's going to be a members only social networking space to connect with like-minded individuals from around the world. We're also a global community. So we have people over in Australia, we have people over in Canada, even South Africa. And this is going to have a very powerful component to it called Member Map, which will be our member directory. And it will be essentially, if you opt into it, you'll see where all the members are around the world. And then we'll have part of the member map system will be groups that we create, and then also our forum for them. So down here, you'll see there's one that says like concerts, but you can create a group called Sydney Events. And if you live in Sydney, Australia, all the people that opt into this that are in that area can get to know each other. There's going to be a isolated DM for your group chat. So you could have a group chat with just those people in that group. It's going to be amazing. And you can get to now start meeting people from around the world. And this whole project was based on putting emphasis on bringing us together. So that's really what was at the core of every part of this new project that I'm creating. Campus is the next big part of this project. It's a 24/7 virtual meeting space. It's gonna look unbelievable, very hyper realistic, and there won't be any avatars, so it's not gonna look like the metaverse. It's not gonna look like a video game. It's gonna look amazing the way that we designed this. So you're going to be able to interact with the people in our community with your voice or with video. So if you're somebody who wants to talk face to face, this is it. This is what we're creating, and it's so much more epic than doing a fucking Zoom call. So we're not going to be relying on Zoom. There's no meeting links that are needed for this. You can just pop into this whenever you want. You can start interacting with people in the space. And we're making it a very user-friendly thing, so you'll know where people are at, where they're kind of like congregating. And this is going to be very special because it's actually going to take you through a storytelling experience that I've curated. And a lot of the times what happens in these live streams is I start taking my trip down memory lane. You know, I start talking a lot about something that's occurred in my life, something that shaped who I am, something that inspired me, or something that was tragic, you know, some loss, something that felt like, you know, shit, I have to do something about this, something that could be heartbreaking, something that could be not so quote unquote positive at the time. And I used this campus build out to be like, well, what were my most important stories in my life, and pack them into this, but not make it overly personal so it's not resonating. They're crafted in a way where they'll resonate with you no matter where you're at in this journey. And this is one of the, I want to say like 14 places that were the worlds that we're designing. And shit, it's so crazy to talk about this and show this to people, but you've all probably heard my story hitchhiking around Iceland. I had this trip, I don't know, was it maybe 10 years ago? I did a hitchhiking trip around the ring road in the country of Iceland. I left out of Reykjavik and then I circumnavigated the entire island. I slept in a tent the whole time, so I was outside. I didn't have a phone charger with me, so I could barely use my mobile phone. I didn't know what was going on in the world. I was just kind of alone most of the time, and I met people that picked me up, and I made a bunch of friends, and it was a really amazing experience. And that's what you're looking at right here. So it's like a recreation of a scene from a story that plenty of you have heard from joining in on our live streams here. And this is just one of, as I said, 12, 14 other um, spaces. So I'm really excited for this because it's going to be like you get to have that quote unquote Zoom meeting or chill with a friend and talk or go on webcam, but you get to do it in a beautiful space. You get to do it in a really special space. And then this is the other component of the project called Archive, where we're going to be sharing any coursework, new lectures that come out, any of these master classes that we do over time. Like I kind of hinted at us doing a health and wellness focused masterclass to start off the university again. And any special guest interviews that I've had in the past, I do plan on having about 4 more coming up starting halfway through the new year. So I have a bunch of people that I'm looking to reconnect with, some people that will be brand new special guests, and we're going to have them on. These are people that usually are specializing in their field, and they're able to earn money for what they do. So they're a professional. That's the people that I have on as my special guests. So it's very inspiring to hear other professionals that are out there who are doing things that aren't necessarily what I do, and they've kind of paved their own road. They've kind of escaped, that 9 to 5 type situation, and they took their vision and they brought it to life. So we have these really inspiring conversations with other conscious creators in the space. They're hosted over here on Archive, and we will also be adding some new things to Archive as time goes on. So if you guys are interested in this, join this waitlist. It's over at watersaboveuniversity.com on the final page. And I'm really looking forward to launching this soon. It's a lot of people have been asking me too, because last year we had just changing the background real quick. A lot of people didn't want to do the annual plan. That was the only thing we had available at the time. But this time around, we will have something much, much better we'll have something much, much better to offer, because it will now have a payment plan option and also a monthly membership. Keep it real 26. You're spending time with me though, so that's interesting. It sounds like you're mad about something. I've been mad too. Usually when I'm mad though, I deal with it on my own, or I reach out to friends and family, people that I love. I usually don't come into a space on the internet and vomit it all over the place because of my own insecurities and projections. But it's okay. You probably have a friend, and you should consider reaching out to them. Salma, I've never thought about this. My favorite plant. I mean, I love Ethiopian food. That's like one of my favorites. I really love. I even really love Israeli food. It's super funny. Like, I'm half Puerto Rican, and I never ate like falafel or hummus or any of that in my whole life until I grew up. You know, it's funny. I've had some people that like somebody did this like a couple days ago. They said that I was Jewish. I'm like, did you miss the plot? Like, have you listened to a single? Anyways, yeah, I'm half Puerto Rican. I grew up eating mostly Puerto Rican food, and then I remember when I grew up and I was like, hummus is a thing, and I just fell in love with it. I love tabbouleh and all of that, man. Tahini, it's like some of my favorite plant-based, like whole food plant-based food. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, it would probably be that, or I'm a big fan of pickles, so I love how in Mediterranean, like Israeli food, they always have, even Lebanese, like Lebanese food is very similar in that way too. It's fucking awesome. I love that stuff. So yeah, I love, as I said, Ethiopian. Absolutely amazing. Hard part about the Ethiopian though is it's usually very oily. Like if you could find an Ethiopian joint that doesn't go so hardcore on the oil, then it's great. But I really love Ethiopian food. I love all food, man. Like I have so many cuisines that I haven't got to try, unfortunately. Yeah, Satoshi, that wasn't my. I wasn't calling it Jewish food, but it's the staple food eaten in Israel. All right, guys, it's been 2 hours. We really have to pack this up. It's been amazing hanging out with you guys. I wasn't anticipating to take this 2 hours, but there was so many. Yes, I love this. Keep it real. I love you too, bro. Like, I think a lot of people, like anyone who has any feelings about the new thing that I'm creating, like the biggest thing that it's going to be, the biggest thing it will do is inspire people to create their own platforms. I want that to be, that's like my parting words here. I see so many people out there that have big audiences that keep complaining about whatever, the algorithm or getting shadow banned or censored, or they can't say this or they can't say that. Some of them have been spending 5 years plus and they haven't done a single thing about the fact that it's possible to make your own platform. It's very possible. And I think this project that we're creating is going to inspire a lot of people, even people without big audiences. It's going to make a lot of people go, oh shit, like I could do this on my own, and I don't need to rely so much on the platforms. And we all know that they're going to change over time. We're already seeing that over the past year and a half. A lot of YouTube has become AI content and it will only be more. So, anyways, I'm going to wrap this one up. I love you guys. It's been a blast. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your Saturn day. And as I said a little bit earlier, I will be doing the Red Pill podcast tomorrow on the Patreon, patreon.com/waters above. And right now there is a sale going on for the holidays for Patreon. So it is the lowest price it's ever been. And as I also mentioned a little bit ago earlier, the price of the Patreon will be going up at the end of January. So this is a really good time before New Year's to lock in on that discount while it's available, because it's going to be going away on the 1st of January on midnight. So appreciate you guys. Little opportunity to give the Patreon a chance if you wanted to see what we're doing over there. And this new red pill that'll be dropping tomorrow. Usually the podcasts are about an hour and a half. So you get 4 hour long plus podcasts for as little as $8 right now with the sale that's going on. So I'll catch some of you guys there tomorrow, and it'll be out probably around this time, maybe a little later tomorrow. But I hope you guys all have a beautiful rest of your weekend. And for those of you that I don't connect with tomorrow, have an amazing New Year's, and wishing you and your families the best. Much love.
That's the end of that. guess again last time. No. Did I put that last time? No, I did. Okay. Well, too early for everybody. Fuck me, coffee, man.
Gang stalkers do not target everyone. They never have. They target people who are worth targeting. People who are moving ahead. People who are naturally outgrowing the environment around them. People whose presence quietly exposes what others are trying to hide. If you're being targeted, it isn't random. It isn't bad luck. And it isn't because you're weak. It's because something in you is moving forwards while others are standing still. In this video, we're going to explore the deeper mechanics behind why gang stalkers target certain individuals, what actually drives this behavior, and what it means when you're one of the people they focus on. What makes you a chosen one is not ego, fantasy, or superiority. It's alignment, authenticity, and inner stability. Gang stalking is not a single act. It's a pattern of behavior, and behavior does not appear from nowhere. Every action begins as a thought. Every thought is fueled by emotion, and gang stalking is driven almost entirely by emotion. That's why it's irrational. That's why it doesn't make sense. That's why it often looks reckless, impulsive, and poorly planned. Highly emotional people act first and think later. They do strange things suddenly. They escalate without reason. They contradict themselves. They may even appear to regret their actions later. Because when someone is ruled by emotion, they are not thinking clearly. So what emotions drive gang stalking? Trauma, deep insecurity, and the jealousy that grows from feeling inferior. Gang stalkers do not chase people who are beneath them. They chase people who are outgrowing them. You are moving forward naturally. You are distancing yourself without trying to. You are becoming less accessible, less controllable, less dependent. That movement creates panic. They don't want you to leave their psychological orbit, because when you do, it exposes something painful. It exposes the gap between who they pretend to be and who they actually are. Your presence makes them feel unimportant, like the spotlight is shifted away from them, like they are being left behind, and their ego cannot tolerate that. You outshine them without effort, not because you're perfect, not because you're loud, but because you possess qualities they don't. Mental clarity, cognitive processing, discernment, emotional regulation, inner stability. These are not traits you can fake. They don't have them. And seeing you with them reminds them of that truth. You are also genuine. You are authentic. You don't cheat, lie, or deceive to get ahead. They do. So even if their external success appears greater than yours, they know it isn't real. They know it's orchestrated. They know it's hollow. That's why you still stand out. Everything they do is aimed at one goal: to take away what you naturally possess. Sleep deprivation, gaslighting, food poisoning, psychological disruption. These are not random tactics. They are attempts to damage your clarity, slow your thinking, and pull you out of alignment. They envy what you have because they cannot access it within themselves. So instead of building it, they try to destroy it in you. Here's the paradox most people miss. They don't target you for what you lack. They target you for what you have. If you were empty, they wouldn't notice you. If you were lost, they wouldn't care. If you were insecure, you wouldn't be a threat. The very fact that you're being targeted is evidence of abundance, not deficiency. They may laugh at the idea of chosen ones. They may mock it intellectually, but on an emotional level, they feel something is different about you. They notice your confidence, your direction, your lack of obsession with your own flaws, and that's dangerous to them because they have no real path, no stable identity, no authentic self. They watch from the sidelines, waiting for moments to pull you off of yours. Seeing you reminds them their lives lack meaning and a purpose. Most people today are pretending to be someone they know they're not. That's why insecurity is everywhere. That's why control is necessary. That's why environments have to be manipulated. They create illusions to feel comfortable. But illusions require constant maintenance. So they keep checking on you, disrupting you, harassing you. Not because you matter less, but because you matter too much to their fragile emotional stability. No matter how much they interfere, no matter how much they try to hold you back, no matter how far ahead they try to place themselves, nothing changes the core truth. You are still you. And they are still themselves. They gang stalk to swap emotions, identities, and energy because they are deeply unhappy. They want you to doubt who you are, to disconnect from yourself, to come down to their level mentally. That's why self-love and self-validation are non-negotiable. Some gang stalkers appear successful. Nice cars, status symbols, visibility, but it's invisible to them. They don't feel pride, they don't feel satisfaction, they don't feel peace. They use these things as weapons because they know they got empty. What you have, no matter how small, is real. You worked for it, you cared for it, you earned it. It's authentic. That's why it has weight. If someone climbs a mountain honestly, they feel proud. But they don't, because they cut corners, cheated, lied, deceived. So they never reach wholeness. They only reach the next craving for validation. And when they see genuine people achieving peace, they become angry. So they target chosen ones. You are not being targeted because you are weak. You are being targeted because you are becoming free. Your authenticity is louder than their performance. What they envy in you cannot be stolen, only suppressed, temporarily. The more aligned you become, the less power their behavior holds. If this resonated and you're navigating narcissistic abuse or gang stalking, support matters. Coaching is available at narcsurvivor.co.uk. Donations can be made at paypal.me/narcsurvivor. If this video helped you, like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. You are not imagining this, and you are not alone.
shower. Maybe not. So long yesterday. Really. See you later. See you in the next one. Peace out. Stay medical. Stay tasty.